only show that's 3 dimensions away from Walt Disney getting a biopic that's a parody. I'm your host, 3D Jake, and today we're looking at Wierd, the Weird Al Yankovic story. Wierd is essentially a movie that is it's a parody of a biography of Weird Al Yankovic's life. Apparently, this movie is inspired by a Funny or Die sketch, which also Funny or Die paid for part of this movie. And so basically, apparently, Aaron Paul several years ago did a Funny or Die sketch where Weird Al Yankovic, where it's supposed to be a parody of his life and everything, and it's really crazy. It's still on the website if you can find it. It's a fantastic video. But this movie is essentially that. Like, Weird Al liked that video so much that he went and he made the video, and of course, Aaron Paul, he wanted someone else to play him, someone more resembled, I guess, him or something, to where he got Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe plays Weird Al, and of course you have the great Evan Rachel Wood as Madonna. And you have several famous people in this movie, like Dave DeSmallchin, Conan O'Brien, the list goes on, Jack Black, and of course Rainn Wilson, who is a prominent player in this movie. And the movie basically is about it tells you a fake semi-autobiographical movie of Weird Al Yankovic, where parts of it feel like it's true, but they twist it a little bit, while the rest of the entire third act is complete bullshit. It feels like they're trying to tell Walk the Line, but then they go, this movie is more Walk Hard than Walk the Line, essentially. So basically, when you're watching this movie, you're like, there is no way this movie is real. There's no way. And especially if you watch the ending. The ending, I'm going to tell you right now, is complete, utter bullshit. I was watching this movie, and I'm like, there's no way this is true. There is no way this is true. Come on. No way. And this movie is fantastic. Okay, me and my brother wanted to watch this movie. We're like, it's on Roku, and it looked fun. We click on it, we watch it, and we loved it every single minute, because we couldn't believe how ridiculous it kept getting. It's just when you think this movie could not get ridiculous, it gets more ridiculous. You're like, what the hell? We're just in there lying and laughing, going, what is this movie? I mean, this is a fantastic movie, because it's a fun comedy. I mean, this is not a true biography of his movie. So if you're expecting that, you're going to be very disappointed. Because, it says, oh, he created Eat It first, and then Michael Jackson stole that from him as Beat It. And then, Amish Paradise was, he's saying these are all original songs that the Coolio and Madonna and all of them, they stole from him. In real life, he's just parodied the songs. Although, parts of it do feel like this is true, the part where he created a song, at the beginning of the movie, Rocky, or I like Rocky Roll, and I love rock and roll, and I love Rocky Roll. Stuff like that, it feels like it's true, but then they start twisting it, making it more ridiculous, which I love about that. That to me is really fun. I love Weird Al, actually himself cameos in this movie and plays a record executive, which is cool. And I really like this movie. It's a fun movie. Daniel Radcliffe is amazing as Weird Al. I mean, he really makes you believe this is Weird Al Yankovic. And every time he sings, it's actually Weird Al Yankovic singing. He just dubbed his own voice, And so, I mean, I would have loved to hear Daniel Radcliffe sing, because I heard he can sing in real life, so I thought that would have been cool. But so I love Evan Rachel Wood as Madonna, especially if you see the character transformation she goes through in this movie, to where you're like, oh, at the end you're just like, oh my god, really? And Conan O'Brien cameos as Andy Warhol, and I was like, is that Conan O'Brien? And I'm like, yes, it is. And then of course Jack Black plays this one musician. And, of course, you got Rainn Wilson, who plays Dr. Dementia, who is, a big inspiration to Weird Al. And so, basically, he's, originally Patton Oswalt was going to play him, but then I guess he broke his leg or something and couldn't do it. And so, basically, Rainn Wilson, then at the day before shooting, they got him, and he flew over and did the movie. And he's really good, and I like Rainn Wilson. I love Mr. White on The Office, and I loved him in this movie. He was pretty good. I really like this movie, and, you won't believe, the stuff, there is a really dumb Amish thing that happens in this movie about, they talk about backstory about the Amish people, and I was just like, are you serious? And just thought it was funny. I mean, and this movie is very Walk Hard than Walk the Line. I mean, this movie, if you love Walk Hard, you're gonna love this movie. I'm saying, because this movie is that, except I would say this is more of a toned down Walk Hard. Walk Hard is more inappropriate compared to this movie, which is more like at ease. You know, I really like this movie. I would watch it again. It's a fun movie. I mean, there's some ridiculous stuff in this movie, like involved like not El Chapo, but like Pablo Escobar and the cartel, and just it's so ridiculous. You're like, parts of it feel like Hot Shots. You know, that's what I was telling my brother. This feels like Hot Shots in a way. Like, it's very parody of it. You know, it feels like someone saw biographies of movies, biographies of musicians, and took all the notes down and says, I'm gonna make that. And that's what happened. And I mean, it's fun. I really enjoyed this movie. Everyone in the movie is great. I will say though, it's pretty fun, but at the same time, I feel like parts of it, like, I don't think the runtime, like, I think they could have trimmed a good 30 minutes out of it, because at some parts I'm like, okay, this is the end of the movie, and then it's got another 30 minutes left, to where I was like, okay, fine. Like, to me, like, there's a car accident scene, I thought, okay, that's the end of the movie. Nope, there's another 30 minutes, and I'm like, really? You know, and I wasn't upset about it, I just thought, like, it should have ended sooner than it did. That was my biggest complaint, you know, and I do think that, you know, like, there were some jokes I think they could have added a little bit more. Like, I mean, this would have been funny if you would have said this instead. But, I mean, I thought it was still a pretty good time. Would I watch it again? Absolutely. If I had to give it a grade, I would give it a solid B+.
Oh, Al, you can't smoke in here. I totally deserve that.